It was a total disgrace. For an architect, of course. They'd made me mad. Really mad. Granted, until I got my former power back, I'd still have to just struggle on, but my personality was just the same as it had been before I was reborn. Or whatever I'm supposed to call it. The Codex probably knows the proper term for what was unquestionably a miracle, but where am I going to find a hunter who will explain it to me? Although I'd probably survive without an explanation of it anyhow, and I didn't really want to have to meet up with a hunter in order to find out. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, my parents. I'd had it with them. They were seriously driving me nuts. How many times were they going to send all manner of shady individuals after me? Until their money ran out? That wouldn't happen for a while. Despite the fact that they were having serious financial problems, their credit history was immaculate. They'd always paid off their debts on time. They just took out more loans in order to do so. Their little borrow-in-order-to-pay-back scheme had worked without a hitch. Or would they just pursue me until none of their hired thugs wanted anything to do with me any longer? That was even less likely. Firstly, I knew full well that there were people in this world that I wouldn't be able to deal with quite yet. However, secondly, all those fools had just been disappearing without leaving any gory details for future contractors to hear of. And thirdly, human nature dictates that there are always idiots around, as attested throughout the ages and in a great many worlds. That meant there was really only one solution. I'd have to eliminate their clients. That is, my parents. Eliminating them physically would, of course, be the most reliable option, but I didn't feel such a strong dislike toward them quite yet. And anyway, given that I was in Liechtenstein, it simply wouldn't be possible for me to do so, frankly speaking. I didn't have the connections or the money for that. The only thing I could think was that my parents had to leave me in peace. But how could I achieve that? I had no idea. Yet, I'd have to think about that matter very carefully. Okay, let's lay it all out. What did I have at my disposal? A rented house with an underground tunnel that led to the railroad station, my very own store, which I'd almost completely renovated, some merchandise, 2 faithful minions, Clay Skull and Scrappy, but the main thing I had was my knowledge and skills from my previous life.